Well, good morning. As I have shared, I record these videos a day in advance, and a day is a big deal right now because things are moving so quickly. I don't know about you, but I find myself waking up desperate to have my view, to have my attitude shaped by time alone with God, reflection, and being reminded of His love, being reminded He's got everything under control. And I want that to be my understanding as I turn on the news feed and begin to figure out how things are unfolding and want to be shaped by the gospel. So today, Paul calls us to that. We are in Philippians chapter 2, and we're going after one of the really big questions. What is expected of me? This is one of the big 5 worldview questions. What is ultimately important, or who is God? Who am I? Where did I come from? What is expected of me? What happens to me when I die? And how do I know what I know? So he hints at this, what is expected of us, when he writes in Philippians chapter 2. He's talked about not grumbling. That was yesterday. Don't be a complainer. And then he says, hold fast to the word of life, so that in the day of Christ I may be proud that I did not run in vain or labor in vain, even if I'm being poured out as a drink offering upon the sacrificial offering of your faith. I am glad and rejoice with you all. Likewise, you also should be glad and rejoice with me. So there's a lot moving on there, and it's really sort of what is assumed that I think is the real pay dirt. But let me just note, day of Christ, he refers to that. The day of Christ is when Jesus returns. After his crucifixion and resurrection, he was on earth for 40 days. Then he ascends into heaven, and he's seated at the right hand of God the Father, where he is interceding for us right now. But he will return. That is one of the promises. He's going to return. He's going to establish his kingdom in all the fullness, all the wonderful things that he promises. That's the day of Christ. That will come. When that comes, we will be judged. Our eternal destiny pivots around whether or not we've been forgiven by Christ, whether we've been reconciled with God, which only can come through Christ. But we are also going to be judged based on the life we have lived, and we will be held accountable. The second thing to understand is this drink offering. It's not common today. The Jews would understand the sacrificial system obviously very well, as would the others that were reading this letter in the first century. It was usually a glass of wine or something that got poured on top of the offering. It was a little bit of the bow on a nice package, a nice gift. And so what he's saying is, look, we're going to be judged. And I want you to run well, to finish well, to serve. Because Paul is seeing that he's going to get rewards. Get this. He's going to get rewards based on what the people that he has been investing in do. There's a whole lot there to think about. He's not embarrassed about saying that he wants a life that is going to be rewarded. He thinks that it's going to be rewarded in the next life. It's obviously, to live a good life, holiness is in one sense its own reward. Sin is always self-destructive behavior. It's never in our best interest to sin. But the rewards he's particularly interested in seem to be rewards that are going to come in the next life. And he thinks that some of his rewards are going to come because of them. Then he goes on to say, but look, even if my sacrifices on your behalf are I'm just being poured out as a drink offering. It's not the meat. It's just a little bit on top of the sacrifice of Christ. I'm willing to suffer on your behalf. There's a lot there to think about, but we are called to live today in light of forever. We're called today to live into the values of the kingdom of God right now. We're called to be investing in other people. We're called to live today in light of God's ultimate triumph. Be encouraged and live in light of the kingdom values today.